Gonna start off in the bottom right-hand corner. I actually really love this matchup because obviously we talk about recent events and so on, yada yada. Obviously EWC, and we've got the runner-up and the third place finisher of EWC right here against each other. So I actually feel like that makes for a pretty cool little matchup. I like it. So excited to see what that means for us as we get underway. In the bottom right, obviously that third place finisher of EWC is going to be Cure. And he takes on Classic the Red Protoss, our second place finisher, the runner-up of the World Championship. How does he look in the PvT? Obviously a matchup that he was very good in to get to this sort of, to get to that runner-up position, to get to that second place. He had to be good at this matchup because, well, he took down Clem on the way. Q's a crafty player, though, and he's got some sneaky builds. And honestly, I think Q sometimes can look really, really solid in the macro build as well, in the macro game. So I'm genuinely intrigued to see what happens here, because we also have a Classic who maybe has not played as well since EWC, right? You know, he definitely peaked at that event, and coming into this, next tournament now, I look at this, and I haven't seen Classic look the same, right? He's not been in the finals of the weeklies like he was building up to EWC. It really feels like he peaked at the correct time. And hence here he is, he's obviously doing well in this event. He got first place out of his group into the round of 8 here, so that's a fun draw to see them up against each other. I do think a lot of people probably look at this as like a very one-sided series towards Classic, I think. I actually think this is quite competitive and back and forth is the line that I want to really kind of just talk about, I suppose, as we get into. An Engineering Bay block starts already from the very get-go. Cure wants to put some disruption onto his opponent's side of the map and really make it difficult for Classic to get set up correctly here at first. CV coming right down into the natural. Just going to be seeing the reactor coming up on the barracks factory. Finishing very soon. And the CC still building up as well. Add an SCV on in there. And yeah, Stalker, Warp Gate, Nexus, bit of everything on the way through for the moment. Just getting everything set up. Take a few moments to get all of that underway. Couple of Hellions on the way out. Not too surprised when you see that Engineering Bay block on the third base gets taken. Reacted Hellions can be that little bit more annoying than usual, just because they will have that kind of chance to kind of hit multiple bases. It's harder. You can't just wall the natural and you're good. So it does open a door for the Hellions to actually slip by and for maybe the units to not quite be able to defend against this. Hellions will be used as part of the defense here, which they're not effective against the Stalkers, but they do some damage, and they will be used to kind of force this Stalker away. But there's a second Stalker coming up as well, so Classic might be able to keep poking forward for a little bit here. We really do not want to lose a Hellion. We do pull back. The Marine went down so far, as the SCVs will pull, and repairs are available. This is the downside of building Hellions, and these Stalkers coming across the map as aggressively as they have done has absolutely been a benefit right now. And the command center is not finished, so this is a continued delay on the CC. Now we come down this ramp, but 4 Hellions again are going to struggle to push back Stalkers. And third Stalker shows up as well, so Classic continue to rally onto the other side. We're sending it now. The SCV is actually getting reach of that Stalker there. That actually is a pretty big deal. They got a lot of damage done, all things considered. And now we're body blocking against this last Stalker as well that just showed up. It's a cleanup, but obviously Kyo gives up all of his harassing potential, and he's the one that really lost eco-wise in this trade as well. Does he want to give up a Hellion to chase down this Stalker? Looks like yes, he does. Don't blame him, right? The Stalker count is something you like to usually kind of keep up and to a high level. Losing Stalkers like this is, honestly, like I say, for the Hellions, maybe not so bad for Kyo. Yes, you do not have the option to go and run into a mineral line. But if you kill a bunch of it's like when you have the Widow Mine drop, right? And the Widow Mine hits a Stalker, and you're like, well, that's a great trade, getting a Stalker early. It's a similar vibe. That said, the Widow Mine's max potential is usually 1 probe with the Protoss micros correctly. I feel like these Hellions have more potential than that, but we're actually still building Hellions, so maybe we do still have run around and into mineral line opportunity here. 3 gateways up should just say that that shouldn't really happen. Is it 3? It's 2. So 2 gateways up. Gonna say that we should have enough Stalkers to stop it from happening, but you never know. It only takes a moment of those Hellions slipping by to get a couple of one-shots on lined-up workers, and boom, the worker damage gets done. We actually are going to split the Hellions as well, as Classic tries to take his 3rd expansion now, occupying the natural location. He's going to run toward the main. Gets walled off there, but the units are going to pull over to the main base to deal with this. He did not expect 2 more Hellions. Fortunately, it is going to be a battery in position. If he'd send 2 over to the main base and the 3 Hellions come across to the natural, or this location here, then that could have been huge. And actually, we maybe still do have a chance to get some kills. These Hellions are still stacking up damage. The battery's out of energy. 7 kills in the end. Wow, we actually got there. Oh, that's a pretty well executed attack from Kieran. What a weird early game. Hellions versus Stalkers, then the Hellions still in good enough numbers. He does put a lot of minerals into that Hellion count. To be able to get to this point where there's that many Hellions haven't been on the field, you've invested into a lot of Hellions. That does delay your barracks because you can't afford the minerals to put the barracks down, right? So yes, he's got the barracks, but the entire switch into bio is going to be slowed from where you would usually expect. As Stimpack is finishing and we only have, what, like 6 Marines on the map. That said, we do also have some Marauders. So the Marauder count looks reasonable. Charge still building, Stalker coming up. +1 combat shield, all building by. Just having ourselves the Forge and the Gateway coming up as well. The bio is going to stem through. The Stalkers have to lift up right away. Prism has to pull back as we do see a couple of Marauders continue to get some shots off. Stalker just steps straight up. That bunker's going to go down. Nice force field as well. Blocks the ram. A lot of the units up in the main base ready to defend there. A few SCVs going down as Cure. It's actually down 14 workers already, by the way. Kind of crazy when you consider that we actually had quite a few workers of Classic going down, which still shows you how much that harassment earlier from Classic did as well. Because now Classic in some trouble, though, and those Stalkers, some of them had already blinked, so they will go down without being able to escape out of there. And that is going to be Cure pushing this army back, but again, it came at a cost of 11 SCVs, puts him down by 20. That is a significant amount, quite frankly. That's a pretty darn huge number. +1 and that Storm continue to come through from the moment. We'll just have the Stalker Zealot still gathering up right here. So again, we bring that about. Storm and that attack upgrade coming through, and the Immortal building up as well. We continue to get that all underway for the moment. Marauder still building by. The Widowmine going to be on its way through. The couple of Zealots just going to unload out of the Prism. And we do have the Bioforce looking to try and get up to the top. Marauders in the front taking some damage. The Stalkers are going to blink. Prism from the other side. We continue to kite away. Getting away from those Zealots for a few moments. And just don't know if Kia really has the numbers to keep trading like this. I mean, the Zealots are so tanky as well. There's the Storm coming through too, going to make it even more challenging for Kua here. Next Storm doesn't really do too much, but with an Immortal in the mix as well, everything looks powerful from Classic. Kua starts to get a little bit of the numbers lead and chasing forward now before there's more Zealots and more Storms. Feels good, but there are the Zealots at least. The High Templar walked in, do not have the energy yet, but it's scary because pulling back away from this in the Medivacs is going to feel somewhat impossible because of the few Stalkers that can still chase after as well. Gonna step forward again, gets rid of a High Templar, gets rid of the Zealots. Are we breaking through? The Storm coming in just in time. Keeps a few of those units of Cure just about on the edge of range. Cure is still a 2-base Terran player, so the problem is that he needs to win right now, and he's getting pushed. He's not got enough momentum for what a 2-base Terran player should have realistically. He gets another High Templar. There's a way to keep momentum. It's definitely going to be stopping the Storms from having an impact. So that part of this is good. Is it going to be good enough? The Widowmine burrows up. It gets killed off. The 2 Immortal Stalker Zealots continue to step through. Marine Marauder Medivac, a couple of extra SCVs coming about as well. +2 and the Immortal still building from Classic. Fire jumps over to the left-hand side. Pylon going to get jumped on. It's going to be seeing the few Zealots are going to step through as well. Mortal stepping in, the High Templar's coming. We're not going to see this bio spreading, but I mean, you can just see that it doesn't feel like there's enough bio power just yet. Just get around the top side. Again, how do you get through these Archons with bio units only? 3 Immortals as well, very tanky, very powerful. It's actually a 4th Immortal in there. We're going to get units wrapping around the other side. I just don't think the numbers are there for Cure. Honestly, a pretty darn good effort, but just, like I say, running out of steam a teeny bit at the end there. That's not quite going to be good enough as Classic takes game 1 of this BO5. Jeez, yeah. We'll have to try and bounce back, though, as up 1 in the top right corner of the map. The red Protoss player is Classic. And the bottom left, our blue Terra player from Team Liquid is Cure. How come Cure have more victories than anyone else when Hostem is undefeated in this tournament? I mean, Hostem is undefeated because he's gone for the not participating strategy. If only we tracked the qualifiers, you know. Ay, ay, ay. So game number 2, as the gas comes up and we settle ourselves into this one. Got Ultra Love, but you do feel like it's a bit more of a reasonably sized map. Q obviously 2 basing in that last game with the 5 racks. I actually think with how well Q was doing, if this was a smaller map that we'd seen, I actually think if we were playing a smaller map, he would have won, to be honest. Like, if that last map was any smaller, because there were moments where it looked like he might break through. And a few reinforcements showed up and it got a bit close. In the end, he just didn't quite have that extra bit of oomph. But Aganath is one of the larger maps, so if that had been on a smaller map, maybe that would have been fine for Cure. Small margins, as always, at the highest level of StarCraft. Part of the beauty of the game. Marine over the right-hand side, factory coming up, the reactor is building. Just see the Nexus dropping down into place, a couple of Adepts on the way out. And get those Chrono boosted along as the factory sets up as well, bringing that straight into play here currently. A couple Marines on the way through as well. Your Adepts just going to shade their way out across the other side. A couple of Stalkers are building on the gateways. That Warp Gate's still coming online as well. Have an RCC. And Marines coming through. The factory about to finish, and these Adepts are about to move up the ramp toward the Marines. 1 Marine, 2 Marines. Picked off already. 3rd Marine going to go down. That is the Adepts having a successful time there thus far. Again, all building the starport, still building through. The tech lab's coming online. And we're seeing the Adepts getting into the corner and picking off an SCV for the moment. This couple of Stalkers still continues. So harassment ongoing with these couple of units. Obviously, 2 gateways here from Classic is funky. He's going to have the expansion, but he's putting a lot of investment into the here and the now. The Cyclone should do a lot to stop this. We're actually going to push down this ramp with SCVs. Try and regain the high ground, but then the Adept Shade obviously does a lot to stop the high ground from being that much of an advantage as well. The Adepts are going to shade for the mineral line, so they're committed in. The Cyclone's about to arrive, and that will put pretty much a stop to this, but the multitasking is being a problem for Kira as well as Classic gets rid of the depot. The Cyclone does not get the Stalker even, and that's 5 SCVs down. This gateway-based opening working wonders. Again, Twilight Council is later than it would be because we've built more units off of more gateways than usual. But it still is going to be Blink on the way, and obviously the damage done really does feel significant enough to have justified what's happened so far. Here we're going to try and keep the Cyclone in range, but the high ground will be a stopper to that as well, unfortunately. A couple more Marines still building through the tank and the SCVs. Building in as well. That Blink coming by, the assimilator is coming through. Like when the Marines just join up, we will have the cloaking on the way as the Banshee and the Siege Tank both continue to build, so we get that started. Again, Banshee tank coming about. Cloak coming through. Get a couple of refineries coming up as well. Blink will finish very shortly. Temple Archives building. The gates coming online. Marines is going to gather over to the corner with these. The medevac going to hit the main base, and actually not prepared for this at all is Classic. So opportunity for Cure. He gets in for 4 workers straight away, and he's going to be up and out with a very healthy medevac. So still a chance to return at some point. Now that does mean those units are kind of pinned into the corner for now. It does mean they're not going to be back at home defensively or anything anytime soon, but I feel like that's not a bad start. And you do have the Cloak Banshees coming up as another wave of aggression in the near future. Stalkers settle the Observer right there as well, keeping an eye on things. The couple factories continue through also right now. And a couple more factories building. The armory will be on the way. And we are going to see the mech. This is something we've seen a little bit of. The mech has been an option as of late in TVP, and Kira has been one of the big advocates for it. But we're going to get a good scout here with these Stalkers already arriving, and Macfield going down is going to delay the power of these, of this mech play a little bit as well. As the Cyclones push through, the Observer goes down, the Stalkers get shoved out of there. So far, so good in that regard. And Storm building through, the charges coming up, a couple of the High Templars still building. We do have our Macfield continuing in once again. The Raven finishing shortly, and the Banshee's going to get to work on a couple of those probes. 4 or 5 workers down already, and now a jump across to the natural, perhaps. The Observer's there, though, so the Stalkers, we eat the feedbacks too, so they're going to get uncloaked. Banshees can sit in the corner, maybe. And Medevac tries to come back in as well, but it will take some damage. Stalker's still in place. Good defense by Classic, who's not given up on any part of this game. Just keeping on top of what's going on. It's been a rough start, actually. Like, he actually started well, but I feel like the counter damage from Kira has been plentiful, and has definitely netted him a little bit of an advantage back on track. But, yeah, Classic not letting it be worse than it needs to be, right? Making sure these Banshees don't get extreme amounts done. Making sure the Medevac doesn't get back into the main base. I think that stuff is very important to keep on top of right now. Again, we get the Infernal Pre-Ignite produced, and we get the Macfield Accelerator on the way, plus 1 vehicle weapons coming up as well. It's fun. Storm on the Banshees makes them move into range as well, because they were not on hold position, I suppose. But I guess if you get stormed and you sit in it, that isn't exactly ideal either. It is taking some attention away, though. And hey, those Hellions have a gap into the 3rd base mineral line. And there's going to be a few probes that go down to this. So these few Hellions force the blink instantly, but still 4 workers going down. We're going to make it 5. We might be able to target fire for 6. It's not going to happen now. There was 1 probe maybe that was up for grabs there still, but it didn't happen. Medevac again, still in the top corner. Classic can start launching an attack, though. He wants to come across the map and make something happen here. Next unit's just going to go warping by. Just have ourselves a little shove in. Guardian Shield coming up. Anti-arm missile hitting a few High Temple in the back. Stalker's trying to fight. Storm onto a couple of those Cyclones as well as we find a little bit more damage. Good storms from Classic. He's just going to overwhelm this. It does look like it. Mech was just not strong enough just yet. That Prism Gun warping is kind of the death sentence here. With that warping of units, there's just no way you hold this off anymore as Cure. And Classic not messing around as he gets straight in looking for the kill. No problemo. And, yeah, that is pretty much just going to be that. GG has to be called. Classic takes a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. A map away from victory, as 3-0s have definitely been the flavor for the upper bracket round of 8. And in the top right-hand side, we're going to have ourselves the Red Protoss player. This is going to be the wonderful Classic, who is up 2-0 and looking good, man. I actually really thought he was starting to take a bit too much damage in that last game. I thought we might have had a chance for the mech to really show its power, but he was absolutely not going to be shaken. And his attack across the map was decisive and very solid in the end, coming through. Bottom left-hand side from Team Liquid, we've got Cure, the blue Terran player. Game 3 of the series. It's time to start doing here as Cure. There's no more messing around. It's time to just win. Hey, I said coming in, I thought a lot of people would kind of just pick Classic as a favorite, but I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that. But hey, I think the people might be right. Classic is definitely looking like the favorite right now. I really had a little bit more hope for Cure than this so far, so hopefully something positive from him here in this game 3. If not, we'll be dropping down to a TvT elimination match with him in the lower bracket against Beyond. I wonder if that would advance through to play against MaxPax as well. It's not exactly a fun section of the bracket, actually, if you drop down there. That might just be the end of our Terran players outside of Clem in the upper bracket, to be honest. So, yeah, we'll see how that turns out as we do have the SCV and Proby knocking around. Just going to get the SCV nibbling onto the probe a few moments. And the other SCV coming across as well. Don't think going mech against Protoss, even with the Broken Cyclone's good enough. But yeah, it's been weird because a few players have really tried to push it lately. There's been a few guys who have really tried to kind of make it a thing. But yeah, I think the general consensus, my general consensus is I agree. I think it's still a weaker playstyle. I think it's something which, especially now, as it's been around for a couple of weeks even, now I really start to feel as though it's getting figured out as well, and the Protoss players are a little bit more confident as to how they want to approach it, when they can attack into it, etc. And Depth is going to step across it, but we'll move through. Well, we'll just poke around then. Twilight Council coming online and get that sorted in a few moments' time as the starport's producing through from Cure. Stalker in position, Reaper gets turned around. And the Hellions and the Marines just push that Adept back the other side a little bit, so we do shove that out the other way. Yeah, I'm managing the cloak setting up, just gonna have the blink and the sentry building through. The Nexus on its way up, robotics facility coming by as well. Taking a couple of moments here to keep on settling down. Ripper's gonna move out onto the map, the Hellion and the Reaper heading up the top side also, just currently. Cure's quite a crafty player, but this series has been a lot of just what we expect from Cure lately, right? The 2 base all in. It's kind of, I guess both games have kind of been off to weird starts as well, which maybe influences kind of where you go to. Takes away your potential of maybe being kind of super crafty as well. So there is an impact to be had in that regard when you stop and think about it a little bit, as the hallucination flying overhead. A couple of additional barracks still building online. And you see that Banshee going to take a few more nibbles and a few more shots. Another Banshee pops out, flying over to the natural. Delivering the charge coming through, the extra Stalkers building up as well. Barracks lifts, moves to the tech lab. Reactor. Crank out a couple of additional Marines, the Stalkers blink down toward the bottom left-hand side as well. And those Banshees still just join up together for the moment. Alright, all our upgrades are very much so on the way through here currently. Stalker settling down, a few units splitting backward. Gonna jump onto those Banshees for a couple of moments, as one of them is going to go down instantly. Yep, that ain't it for Cure. As the upgrades continue through for him, but nothing done with the Banshees. Nothing to slow the Protoss down at all. He starts at 3rd CC now. I'm not sure if that was kind of his initial intentions or not, but it may just have to be his intentions considering the Banshees are so lackluster. You know, you invest into those Banshees, you lose one before you do a single thing. And the thing is that the Banshees not doing anything takes away from the strength of the rest of this army that was looking to move out. Because you're not distracting on the other side of the map. You're not getting damage done that you then are trying to replace while the rest of the units hit. You know, so the lack of success in the Banshees immediately impacts your, you know, the rest of your game essentially. And puts you into a little bit of a difficult place. Impact Combat Shield and the +1 will build up and obviously will finish soon, giving us the chance to perhaps maybe still be on the map and do something, but nowhere near the power that we were perhaps first intending. Classic, unsurprisingly, with that Storm upgrade starting up for us as well, bringing that straight through. The Banshee is going to go toward the top. The Zealots and the Immortal is going to crank through, knock down a set of rocks right there. Stalker going down as well. And again, the army just gathering up for the moment as we have a couple of those Stalkers looking to fight. Widow Mines and Bio units stepping forward. Concussive Shells, Vikings. The rest of the Marine Marauder coming about also now. And she is going to continue to float about for just a few moments. It's up to Backaware. Thank you so much for the 19-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting WardiTV Summer Championship and other events. Thank you so much. Yeah, these Stalkers have to move away. The command center lands off to the edges. Yeah, an SCV just at the front and then blink away. A single lone Banshee shows up. It's going to be very sad affair. It just can't do enough. And it's going to go down as well. Secure. Okay, the Banshee actually lives, but it's going to be low HP and stuck in the corner. Very unlikely it has a feature in this game. Right now it's more taking up supply than it is doing anything of use, so not exactly ideal in that regard. Let's just have the rest of the Zealot Stalker gathering. The High Templar obviously mixing in as well with the Storms available. This is the army that Classic wants to be on. It looks like he's ready to start pushing. He's going to take a 4th base behind this. The rest of that Zealot Stalker is still settling through. The Ghost building, Medivacs, and the armor upgrade coming online. I mean, Ghosts are going to be out. If you have a couple of EMPs available, I think you can argue that this gives you an option, or a chance here at least, to try and fight this. Especially if you're sat defensively, you get some EMPs on the Zealots, you can dodge the Storms fairly decently maybe. Then I think there's going to be a chance. I think there's going to be an opportunity in that moment to try and see some success. So, see how this goes. The High Templar's going to step forward. A few units going to get stormed. That storm is honestly not too crazy. It softens up a lot of the Marauders. Marines pulling back as Kira waiting to stim, and stims now. A couple more High Templars still approaching. We have a Ghost with EMPs available. Not able to get them far enough forward to using the Zealot on the High Templar. He already had an answer to the Zealots just from sheer firepower, and we will chase this away. Defense made by Kira. Classic will not succeed attacking in just yet. Hey, the Banshee actually is going to have a role in the game. He kills a pylon. Go Banshee. Like I say, to me that Banshee was as good as dead, right? So it was kind of, its time was done. The rest of the bio coming back over. +2 attack, +1 armor, extended thermal lance still coming about right now, so we continue to bring that online currently. We're going to push up. Next, it's going to take a few more shots of damage. You're going to see the EMP on the Prism, and the High Templars don't have much energy there. That's not a great storm. Oh, 2 more storms were much better, and we're getting forced into a corner from Cure, but is it good enough? Another! Bro, I can't even see where these High Templar are coming from with the energy, man. Like... I actually thought Kira was taking a fantastic fight, but he just got stormed to death. Just storms. That's the problem, right? Like, there's just feels like Storm will last forever. Like, there's just so many of them available. I mean, that's just it. Class is going to have way too much here. He's going to press on through and is looking to just win on the counterattack because Kyo lost everything. He committed. And unfortunately just ends up in a very tough position. Kyo's going to be heading down to that lower bracket. Classic will be going up against Hero, who actually knocked out of the last WardiTV Championship in spring. He actually knocked Hero out in the lower bracket, which is why Classic got the top 4 pre-seed into this tournament. And Hero did not. There's the GG called, and Classic will indeed confirm the 3-0 once again in this winner bracket round of 8. The 3-0s have been so real. Again, that's Clem against Nightmare, Maxpax against Zan, Hero versus Beyond, and Classic versus Kyo all go